Greetings. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I thought I would share this morning my morning ritual. So I've lit some incense, I've lit my candles, and I'm about to do a 3-card draw, my daily pull. Today I'm using a drawing method, a reading method that I've really been enjoying lately. I did a video about it yesterday. It's what I've been calling the Mirror Oracle Talisman spread. It's not really a spread, it's a 3-card draw. And I'll talk us through it. It's really pretty straightforward. And then after I do the draw, I thought I would guide us in a brief meditation. So, individual results may vary. If you're not really in the mood to do a guided meditation, obviously just click off. But if you are in the mood, wonderful. Let's play together. Let's practice together. So I'm going to be using 2 decks that are decks I really admire, but I have a lot of decks, and so they just haven't seen the love lately. So I thought I would bring them into rotation. They're 2 animal decks. So the first is MJ Coulinen's really well-known Crow Tarot. It's widely available from US Games. I have the indie edition here with these beautiful backs. This is slightly different aspect ratio than the US Games edition. There are things I like about the US Games edition that I like better than the indie, but I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the indie. And I'm a huge fan of this deck, so why don't I use it more? Too many decks, too little time. So, Crow Tarot. Pulling my mirror card. So the mirror card, this is the function of tarot, the mirror function of tarot. And this 3-card draw is all about tarot having 3 separate functions. It can serve as a mirror to show us, help us inquire and be curious about how it is for us right now, about this present moment in our bodies, our hearts, our minds, really a kind of mindfulness tool, reflecting back to us just what is here right now. So that's the first function of tarot. The tarot can also function as oracle. And as oracle, the tarot invites us to be curious about how we are guiding our action. That sort of side of us that is aspirational, that is pointed into the world, that is pointed into decision and activity. And I always think about the ancient Delphic oracle. Oracles, if they're worth their salt, they don't give you answers, right? They don't just say, well, you should buy a hybrid car and drive to California. They don't do that. Real oracles give us puzzles. They give us questions. They give us things to clunk around in the body, heart, and mind. The image I always have of that clunking around is, if you've ever dried a tennis shoe in a dryer, at least an American dryer, those big old dryers, and the shoe goes clunk, clunk, clunk. That's what a good oracle does. It gives us a question to clunk around in our heart mind. It gives us what in Zen we call a koan. So that's the oracular function of tarot, the question it gives us. And then lastly, the talisman function of tarot, which is its capacity to guide us or to protect us, to give us the energy that we can lean in on, that energy we need for today. Okay? Mirror, oracle, talisman. So, Crow Tarot, my mirror card. What do I need to see today? And I'm not going to work with reversals for this spread. And I have the Knight of Swords. Yeah. Always in flight. I pulled the Page of Swords yesterday from Eliza Kingsbury's String Tarot. And that restlessness and that propulsive motion forward. I very strongly identify with the Knight of Swords. It's a card that I think about in terms of my mind, heart energy, which is always seeking to solve, like all knights, moving into the world with this energy of meeting whatever's out there. But the swords, that's like, the Knight of Swords is always like the smartest guy in the room, but not necessarily just thinks that she is, right? Like, I've got the answers. No one else is going to take care of this. I'll go. I'll do. I've got it. I've got it. And that can be a very noble and powerful energy, but can also, I mean, it can be isolating. It can be arrogant. It can be problematic in all sorts of ways. So, you know, how am I like the Knight of Swords today? And as always, you know, I'm really, when I'm using the cards for in their mirror function, I'm always inviting this inquiry into pieces of the card, like reading a dream. And this is how we work with archetype, right? Like reading a dream. If you're thinking about a dream that you had the night before, thinking about all the pieces, all the elements, and asking, well, what is that? So what is that? What is the yellow bird that is steady on the rump of this moving horse? Everything else is in motion or slightly disrupted. This little, maybe it's a robin. Obviously the crow itself, that knightly figure of the crow. But can I, in the middle of this activity, sort of settle into that part of me that is still, that is resting and simple? Well, meditation can help with that, perhaps. Okay, mirror function, Knight of Swords. The second deck I'm going to use is Teresa Hatch's White Sage Tarot. And again, I'm using the indie version of this deck, the original version. There's a wonderful US Games version of this in the tin. I like larger size decks, so I'm more a fan of the indie, but there's a lot to love in that tin version. White Sage Tarot. So this is the Oracle, and I'm looking for the koan, for the tennis clunking around inside the dryer, right? The thing that will kind of encourage transformation and skillful action, meeting the future as it arrives skillfully. Oracle. The Five of Swords. I've been getting this card a lot lately, and it's a tricky card. You know, it's a card that cuts, that pushes forward. I mean, there's a lot of swords energy here. It's a card that pushes forward, that makes its way forward, that's about the self making its way forward, like ego, in a way that cuts up the world and is very isolating. You know, it's a card that can denote a lot of cruelty. It's a card that can denote a Pyrrhic victory, a victory where, you know, it's really a loss. It's a card that deeply points to the ways in which we're all caught up in power structures and hierarchies. So my gain is your loss, your gain is my loss. So, you know, this card is inviting me with the question of how am I cutting the world? Okay, so an invitation here to be really curious about how I'm cutting the world, and to have that be a guide in my action. All right. So today I'm going to be thinking about this question of I think it's the question of how to bring peace instead of conflict. And it's a cautionary note that peace instead of conflict needs to be chosen. I'm not loving these cards this morning. These are heavy. So my third function, I mean, that's somehow how it is, sometimes how it is, right? My third function is Talisman. And for this, I'm going to pull one of Amelie's Charmcast Tarot. And this is the energy that I need to protect me. And given that I've gotten some intense swords here that are about forcing into the world, feeling called, feeling like I have to fix and answer, that kind of Knight of Swords, swiftly moving in, the cleverness of the Knight of Swords, the responsiveness, the incisiveness, and then this oracle of like, careful about how you might cut things, how to find peace. What's my talisman? I love pulling these tiles. It's so noisy and tactile. Oh my God. All right, this is a swords, full-on swords day. I'm gonna put this in my pendant. So that was the 10 of Swords, in case you didn't notice. So actually, I love the 10 of Swords. It's an ego death. It's an ego death card archetype. So the talisman here is the talisman of no self, of letting self go, which actually is what's needed for these very egoistic, very strong and propulsive cards. Letting go. Letting go. All right. So those are my cards for the day, my archetypes for the day. And let's settle in, okay? So just for a few minutes of mindful meditation. I'm going to begin by ringing the bell. And as I ring the bell, the invitation is going to be on the bell, if this is comfortable, to take a deep breath in. And as we breathe in, to feel the rib cage expand upwards toward the ceiling. And as we breathe out, to exhale slowly and really use the movement of breath traveling down through the hips into the floor if you're sitting comfortably. If you're not sitting comfortably, get comfortable. Let the breath move down through the hips and legs into the floor. Now, if breathing deeply isn't comfortable today, don't breathe deeply. Individual results always vary, so take care of yourself. And this breathing practice that I do as the bell is ringing, just bring attention to the weight of your body sitting in the chair or couch or wherever you are. Okay. So we're beginning by dropping anchor either with our breath or just by drawing attention to the weight of the body. And just now letting the breath settle naturally. Letting it settle naturally. Letting the breath be as deep or as shallow as it needs to be. And the eyes can gently close. I'm keeping my eyes open. But whether they're open or closed, just allowing the breath to find its natural rhythm. If the eyes are open, letting the gaze be soft, being as aware of what's on the periphery of the gaze as what's in the center. And if the eyes are closed, letting the eyelids be soft. And just bringing attention now to the support of the body by the furniture underneath it. So feeling the body settling here. We're just dropping anchor, right? We're just allowing ourselves to feel into the center of this body, heart, and mind right here and now. So bringing awareness to the way the furniture supports the bum and the hips, and the floor maybe under our feet. Bringing attention to the hands, allowing them to just rest at our sides or on the table in front of us or on our lap. And just knowing that the center of the earth, no matter where you are right now, the center of the earth is directly underneath us, right? and just coming back to this center by dropping anchor like a ship at safe harbor, right? Just dropping anchor, allowing the weight of the body and the support of furniture and floor and earth, allowing that support to ground us completely. And we just keep coming back again and again as the mind is perhaps pulled off of center, as we feel ourselves drifting, maybe daydreaming, maybe feeling tense or restless. Maybe there's some itching or discomfort in the body. Maybe we're just bored. Just whatever we notice, coming back here to the sense of the body, settled and anchored right here in this place at this time. And again, like a ship at safe harbor, as the mind or awareness gets pulled or drifts away, or maybe we're starting to drift into sleep, when we notice that, we just come right back to the sense of the bum sitting on the chair, or the legs resting, the feet on the floor, perhaps the hands on our lap, just coming right back to this place of anchor, this center. It's always here. Wherever I am, the center is right here. This is dropping anchor. And today, as I meet my day in my Knight of Swords way, that little yellow bird sitting on the rump of the Knight of Swords, that can be me. That can be me, finding my still and center point in the middle of rush and activity and activation. And as I settle into this day, just noticing the ways in which I might tilt toward cutting the world, and an invitation, a koan. How do I bring peace? How do I bring peace in every moment? And then finally, that sense, that archetype of no self, of letting go of self, what the 10 of Swords represents. And I can lean into that selflessness. I don't have to give up anything, let go of anything, but I can know that in the fullness of everything, the self and the world are one. And I can let myself rest into that no self. May the rest of your day be blessed and full of love and joy. And thank you all for your practice.